be an actress.
Oh, really? Did she do anything on the scene?
And I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
Pilot? What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick TV shows is they make one show. That show's called a pilot. Then they show that one show to the people who pick shows. And on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get chosen and become television programs. Some don't. Become nothing. She started one of the ones that became nothing.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is the man who's charmed my pants off. It's Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening. I love you.
I love you too. The charm that I have given you has lasted longer than all the charm that I had for my three wives. They quickly get tired of that charm.
I was born a man. I have
Nice.
I have the chromosomes to prove it, and also the penis. I have a penis.
Okay.
And then, by all accounts, you are the same.
Correct.
Having a relationship with me longer than some of those, some might say there may be an air of homosexuality.
No, I think it's that we don't dwell together. Like if we were in the same dwelling, if we lived in the same place, we would not be friends anymore. Probably you would have enough of it.
If I start dating a lady, she'd be like, "Hey, you're funny." I was like, I say that's the only thing I've got going for me.
Right. No, yeah.
And she's like, well, "I like that. I like funny." And what I think, and I don't say it out loud, but I think is that shall fade over time.
Right. Yeah.
You will.
For sure.
You will not think. Mark your calendar now, won't you please? In 1 year from now, I either won't know you at all, or you will think I am the unfunniest person you've ever met.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately. Girls are attracted to a sense of humor. That's why there's a lot of ugly, funny people out there that have gotten hot wives.
Hell yeah!
But that will go away. Even if they find other traits about you that they like and that they latch on to or that they staple themselves to. That the sense of humor will go. It is a flash in the pan.
Even the shiniest things become tarnished over time.
Amen,
my friend.
brother.
And amen to you, my brother. Yeah, I think you're right. It's we don't live together, so we're
right.
not. But they always say that too. And I think you've had an example. I remember there was an Asian fella. I think there's another name for him. I won't say on the show, but Chinaman is the name I was thinking. But you lived with a guy. Was his name? Who was it? Was
Pete Hoffman?
That's right, Hoffman. That's right. Were you guys good friends before you lived together?
We worked together.
Okay.
And yeah,
so it was like almost a roommate partnership of convenience.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I need a place to live, and hey, I'm moving to this place. You want to room up, and it's cheaper.
And so I don't hear hide nor hair of Pete Hoffman these days. You don't keep in contact with him, I'd imagine.
No, not really, not at all. No.
Did you have a falling out because you lived together and you dwelled together? Did Pete Hoffman get sick of Blake Claytonman?
No, I think no. It was a circumstance where he became a dad and got married, and so and then we just lost. Besides drinking, in actuality, what did we really have in common?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Sometimes it is just a job that keeps people talking together. That's
Sure.
that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
We worked together, and then we found common ground outside of this, which being a slave to a microphone to think people that are listening to us, and that's where we are today.
Right.
We've been together ever since.
Yeah, I think our love runs deeper, though. You're very tolerant of and accepting of faults, as opposed to, like, probably in your female relationships that you have. I'm sure that you are not as accepting and aware. You probably wouldn't let all this stuff slide in a relationship.
You're right. All of what you just said, you're right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
relationships are hard. They're hard, aren't they?
It can't. Yeah, that can be tough. You know what? I said this is the only thing I have going for me is wit and humor, levity, as it were. I will also say that I do think that I am a good friend.
Oh, I would say you're number one.
I do think I am I make efforts to be a good friend to the people that I care about.
For sure.
So I don't have a lot of good qualities going for me, but I will say that is one I actively work on, and I think that I do a good job.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where like a person you were with said, "Hey, we should go to counseling"? Has that ever been a
yes?
Real. So what is your first reaction to that?
Well, I was dating this lady for a while. And then I think about a month or two in the relationship.
Into it? Month or two into it?
Well, it's not exactly. This is not what you think exactly. But she took me to a place and we went out to this bar and she said, I'll meet you there. We won't drive together. And I was thinking that's weird. So we get there and I think, oh, she's gonna break up with me. She's probably gonna break up with me. And she didn't break up with me. She said, I am a crazy person. And this is where you really learn that if people tell you who they are, oh my God, won't you please listen to them? And so I said, oh, I don't know about that. You said everything's all right. And then later, a few months later, she proved to me that she was a crazy lady. And so much so that she said, I need to start going to counseling.
She said she needs to.
She said that she needs. She said, I recognize something's going on and I need to go to counseling. And I said, yeah. If that's what you think you should do, then I support you. That counseling always seems like someone trying to do something positive for themselves. Right. I support you. So she goes to counseling for a while. I think she gets on some sort of medication. And then later she says, my counselor says it might be good if you come and join me for a session. And you can see what it's about and everything. And if you have questions, you can ask them. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. It wasn't. I don't think it was It was about us going to a couples counseling.
It was for you to experience or to maybe figure out or to see what would help her, how to deal with her, maybe or
something in that vein.
Sure. She was opening,
but I said, yeah, if you are asking me to do this with you, I will do it. I will. Right. Yeah, let's go for it. I'll go check it out. And I went, and it was fine. I mean, I didn't feel like anyone was there to attack me, and I don't feel like anyone was attacked. It was just kind of, how's this been going? How you been doing with this? And just kind of chatting that way. But I've never been to one where it's like I'm getting counseling for me, or I'm going with someone because we specifically want couples counseling. I haven't done that, but I have been to a counselor with my former partner.
Sure, I went to counseling throughout the years, off and on, individually. I did try it once with a partner.
And that was meant to be couples counseling?
That was meant to be couples counseling. And then I did it again with this last partner, and we just went a couple of times. But it's very talked about of going to counseling. And I'm like, well, here, I'll tell you what. We can go to counseling. I have no problem with it. You know, if it shows that I'm, willing to. But my only problem is if this perfect stranger tells you, lady friend, these are things that you are doing wrong or this you need to work on, and if it's the same things I've said to you, how...
You're just looking for someone to back up your previous claims, right?
That's what they're looking for. But I'm saying, but how what does it make... How does it make our relationship look if a perfect stranger makes suggestions to you? Are you going to be more apt to do them than when your husband says that?
The quick answer is yes.
It's insane to me. That's insane.
You're right. But men think logically and women think emotionally. And I'm not going to say which is right or which is wrong. The men are right. But I will say that is how it works.
Right.
I've been recently watching a lot of Inside Amy Schumer. You ever watch that fucking shit?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
So it's on Pluto TV a lot on the Comedy Central channel. And I watch it. It's pretty funny, actually. There's a lot of familiar faces on there. And there is one sketch that I recently saw is that it was basically men like in a class, but it's like this kind of like spy, hyper like action class where they're dealing with women. And so they bring these women up to present scenarios to this men to see what they've learned. And Amy steps into a guy that's kind of going off course, and she says, hey, women, good job with what you're doing so far, and just know that if you come at a woman reinforcing something that her counselor said, there's nothing she can say to that. So women always listen to their counselors or therapists and Oprah. And those are the only, like, so if you are reinforcing something they said, that's kind of bolsters your scenario there, where you're talking about if you say something and then your counselor mirrors that, of course she's going to listen to the counselor over you. But if you're saying the same thing, you can reference the counselor having said it to build your point and almost like calm the lady down to a degree.
I just find it so crazy that I have to invest time and money into having some stranger say the same thing I'm saying to them.
There's a lot to be said about tact as well. I would hedge a guess that you're probably not as tactful as
that's possible.
And they don't, and the counselor doesn't dwell with your wife too either. So to bring it back, but that
was all hypothetical, of course.
It was all hypothetical. You know what? I will never say that. Some people say don't go to counseling. It's a weakness. Figure it out for yourself. I will never say that.
No, not at all.
The only people that I think are weak are the ones who do not make an attempt to better themselves, or like go to counseling and don't follow up on that shit, or don't follow through with what the counselor is saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are the weak people. The weak people that are not completely insane. They can live their life, but they really don't put in the effort to correct something when they know something wrong. That's the weakness.
Okay.
Not the asking for help. That takes a lot of strength, and following it up on it takes even more strength, if you ask me.
That makes sense.
Those are my thoughts. That's a hard 40 years lived by me.
Amen to that.
Actually, 41 by the time
I know, right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's over, buddy. I'm just letting you know it's you've crossed the threshold.
Don't need you to tell me that. I know.
You're heading down the slope.
Don't need to hear that at all.
You're slowly catching up with me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, relationships, women are psycho, and men have their shit together.
Men have their shit together.
Like this is a direct quote from somebody. I heard this today while I was at my house in my living room.
Narrows down who it could be.
I heard, yes, in any relationship, it's two people, right? No one person is doing it perfectly. But I'll be damned if I sit here and say I'm doing everything wrong, and you do not acknowledge at all any responsibility.
He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Yes, and I got a lot of stones thrown at me. So
you are a glass house personified.
Sure, for sure. But besides that, it's a beautiful fall evening. The wind, as pilots, we don't talk about this much anymore, but as pilots, this time of year, it is difficult to fly. I mean, with get the brisk winds of the fall coming through.
Spring and fall, you don't know what to expect day to day.
We're usually like in the winter or in the summer, we can take our hand off the joystick.
Oh yeah, just put it on autopilot.
Yeah,
and then what we like to do, and I don't know if we probably should be saying this. What we like to do is we put our hands behind our head.
Oh yeah,
and then we lean back in our chairs
because we have the special reclining pilot chairs.
We put our feet up on the console, or we put one foot up there, and then we take the other foot and we cross it over the other foot, and we're in a very relaxing position.
Yeah, because the winds aren't that big of a deal. But fall brisk wind. Today I worked very hard to get all the sawdust and garbage from the summer and all the leaves that have piled up in my garage, get them all out. We had the garage door open for 15 minutes talking. And sons of bitches just come right back in. It just makes me mad.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do with her. Hey, when was the last time you came to my house?
We went somewhere. Where did we?
Smart. Yeah.
Where we went? We met at your house and we went somewhere.
Dustin's bachelor party.
No, it was after the van. This has been since the van. Went somewhere. Where did we go? Yeah.
It's
been a while.
Has it been a year?
Probably.
It's been a year since you've been at my house.
Yeah, yes, but we can say that there was reasons why for 6 months of that.
Oof. Okay.
Right?
Right.
Can you say that? You can give me that. The 3 months before and then the 3 months after. I can't. But
all right. Yeah. Okay. I'll say I'm always on the lookout for new stuff.
Sure. Your decor is always changing.
I just got a new couch.
Since I've known you, you've had about 17 couches.
This is the 17th couch I've had in nine years. No, this is I think since I've lived in my house, I've had 4 couches now.
It seems like more.
One was a cheap one from the Big Lots, and it broke early and often.
Because of all that fucking.
There's a lot of fucking on that couch. A lot of fucking and sucking. And then there was a couch I got from my grandmother, but it was a love seat, so it was small. It was nice though. It was like a what's that guy's name? Eddie Bauer. It's like a white. It was like a white leather couch. It was nice actually. And that just is like I got it's not broken down, but it's time to move on. You got like get something else that's more appropriate.
Yeah.
So I bought a mid-century couch maybe 6 months ago. Put it in there. I got a new mid-century couch now. It's even bigger.
It's a mid-century?
Oh, right in the middle. Right. It was June 15th, 1965. That right in the middle there. But yeah, so I got a new couch. I'm always on the lookout. But here's the problem. I binge. I got to purge, baby. You got to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of stuff? Because you're talking about cleaning out your garage.
Because you know me, and you see my dwelling. I have trouble getting rid of stuff. I actually take other people's stuff that have sentimental value, and I just don't get rid of it, even though I will not use it.
Yeah.
And I have trouble. Well, I've got a chair upstairs, like a sofa chair, that has 2 humongous holes in it.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, I should throw this out. It's not, but hey, I've got these big dogs. It's already tore up. The one dog sits on it all the time. I just put a blanket over it.
You like having the dogs.
I do.
But the problem that you have with that chair is because of the dogs, or would continue because of the dogs, right?
It would continue, yeah.
Okay, so how do you reason that with your mind? Your furniture being ruined, like having the dogs. How does that work for you? Because I personally, that's like trying to understand a woman, the madness there that you have a problem. I have that same thing with you.
I can easily justify it.
I would love to hear it.
Unconditional love.
The things you would sacrifice for unconditional love from an animal.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If tonight I put my dog and my wife in the trunk of my car, shut it, came back a half hour later, opened up that trunk, that dog's going to be happy as fuck to see me.
That's how you judge your relationships.
Well, it just shows you, like that's unconditional love. I don't beat my dogs. I take very, very good. And they're always happy to see me. I just want somebody to be happy to see me.
Yeah. See, I don't want unconditional love. I want there to be a lot of conditions. I want someone to be like, "Oh, you punched me in the mouth. I don't want to see you ever."
Oh,
again.
well, yeah. I mean, that's obvious. But I mean, what am I? I've never punched my dog in the face.
You're talking about locking someone in a fucking trunk.
It's an analogy for.
Well, maybe my punching's an analogy.
Oh, okay.
It's about doing something negative to someone and saying I have unconditional love. You're talking about Jesus Christ Almighty. No, I want there to be some conditions. No, you treat me right, and I'll turn around and I'm going to treat you right. There's a good condition.
Well, if I was to strive for that, then I would be living with you right now.
Well, I don't know that I'd have you.
Because that's not happening.
Okay, well, your dogs. I mean, I think you're black. You have a black dog, and I don't see color usually.
Sure,
but you do have one, and it's I think it suffers heavily from PTSD.
I would say that even with the work we put into it, yes, it does have that.
I think that is the cement was wet and it dried on this dog being kind of fucked up. And I like the dog. Of the dogs you have, it is my most favorite of the two. But it barked at me yesterday when I was over, and it bit my hand a little bit. I think it was trying to bite the other dog, but I think it has some PTSD.
Sure, yeah.
How do you combat that? And how does that file in with the unconditional love?
How do I combat it? Well, I understand that if it wasn't for me, that dog would either still be in a bad situation, or would be not have the life it has.
So you have some sort of God complex over this dog.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's.
I saved this dog.
It's doing I think I'm doing a good deed.
What do you think about puppy mills?
Oh, horrible. Mm-hmm. Velma was. That's where she came from. All she did is. She just had babies until she couldn't have babies anymore.
This is your previous Great Dane.
Yeah, when would you said had the saggy titties?
Well, it had like a abdominal fleshy dorsal fin.
Yes, yeah, because it had too many babies and it had an infection.
That's totally fucked up. What happened to that dog?
And that dog, like the day it came here, like that dog was like, oh, this is amazing compared to what I was at and she was the perfect dog. Mm-hmm. She didn't act like these fucking assholes up here.
Yeah. You got a couple of asshole dogs. I don't know.
I sacrifice comfort. I sacrifice sleep.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah. How about this? How about when I pull up in my vehicle, your dogs are like, hey, there's something happening outside. I'm gonna bark a bunch.
Right.
And then people are always like, when they have the dogs that are barking, they're like, hey, shut up, dog. Stop talking. Does that ever work? Why do people say that? Why do people tell their dogs to be quiet? That never works. And then 30 seconds later, they're just going to be doing the same thing.
It just goes to show that, like, hey, I'm making an effort as the owner. I can't really do much, but I'm making an effort.
It's a thin veil.
Well, we all like a little thin veil, don't we?
I don't think I could ever have a dog. It's just the barking. I would never hurt an animal, but I would be thinking about it a lot.
Well, it's like a baby. A baby cries all the time. What are you going to do, shake it?
It's a human being, though.
It's the same thing.
Well, the babies eventually grow out of it, but the dog never stops shitting in the yard.
Well, that's true.
Well, as long as you're happy, I suspect you're not, but as long as you're happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
There's a lady who loves dogs.
Yeah, not recently. She's like, I would be good if we were dogless right now. It's like, how you can't perform the way you did for so long, and then all of a sudden say that, and that's why she's a crazy person.
If people listen to this show, they're like, I've heard the tales from Blake Clayton. That guy's insane. I would say, yeah, you're right.
I am. Yeah.
But I talked to your wife for a few minutes last night. Oh, that bitch is crazy, man. Because she was like, I don't need these dogs. I said, you got them in here. And you had 2 more dogs. You're a foster on top of that. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, it's you. I can't even begin to imagine the type of person that says, bring 2 horses into my house, and then a stream of other horses coming in and out, and now I don't want any. That to me is insanity.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, therapist.
I am your therapist reinforcing your ideas and thoughts.
Thank
That's
you.
right. But here's the thing. Are you a strong enough person to do something about it? Or are you a weak person who's not going to do anything about it? Really going to tie it all together. Time shall tell, my friend. I'm rooting, as always, for Blake Clayton. Hey, this season...
It's like rooting for the Bears.
It is kind of like that.
The Cubs.
Hey, this season is an all-animation season.
Yeah, animation domination.
Cartoons. In the past, we've done animation seasons. In the past, we've done all Adult Swim. And people say, oh, Adult Swim is cartoons. Not always. Sometimes it's live action. But this is strictly animation. And it could be from Adult Swim, or it could be from anywhere else out there. It's kind of floating around, whether it found a home, at least for a one-time showing or not. It's all cartoons, baby.
There are no fences.
No borders, no fences.
Yeah, no borders. Love that. Love that.
No Garth Brooks.
Ooh.
No fences. Am I right?
I miss a no Garth Brooks life.
Kevin Clark, he showed me this video where Garth Brooks had just found Periscope, or he just found some app where he could stream live to his fans, and it was the cheesiest, most shitty and scripted thing I'd ever heard. Like, hey, I want to engage with my fans. We're gonna do cool stuff, slick stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've seen fucking that. Ridiculous.
He's like laying in a motel bed up against the headboard.
Just being trying to be so chill. Oh, yeah, it's super cringe.
For all these years, I have been told what to say, and I am almost a robot now. Because God forbid I get canceled because I need all this thousands and thousands of gazillion fans and money.
He's got a lot of money. Who's he married?
Hey, shout out to Taylor Swift for her new album.
Big shout out.
Don't like it so far, but I still support her.
Is it called Midnights?
Called Midnights, yep.
Okay, so we talk about Taylor Swift on the other podcast I do called Radio Rewind. So she's had hits in the American zeitgeist for a minimum of 10 years, probably a little longer than that. And she just released a new album. I haven't heard it, and you said no good.
Like I said, I'm only halfway through it. I guess if I was a 15 to 26-year-old girl who just got dumped, it would be saying what I needed to hear.
That is her consistent demographic.
Yeah. Even though she gets older, she stays at that.
She's the Matthew McConaughey of pop artists.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this one, so far, good. I said I'm only halfway through it. I'm a Swiftie. I'm a Swiftie for life, and I'm not gonna be a player hate on a Swiftie.
I've been all around gutter
But this was probably the most inexpensive album she has ever had to produce because it's just her like doing talk singing, and then there's just like a drum machine behind her.
You know Beck, right? The musician
Yes.
Beck. He had an album, but probably almost 20 years ago at this point, called Sea Change. It was critically acclaimed. A lot of his stuff was like kind of alternative rock or kind of this like funky, jangly shit. And he really stretches over a lot of genres.
Sure.
But Sea Change was like, I got my heart broken, and this is that album. It is slow, it is sad, it is sing-songy. Taylor Swift, I don't know, has really had that. A lot of her songs talk about breakups, but she has become a big pop artist.
There's no pop in this album.
I was going to ask you.
No
so
pop.
this is kind of a stripped down Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and
you're
she,
saying.
I think I said like 6 songs, and she said the word "fuck" 3 different times, which I'm like, damn, girl. So hey, I give her props.
This is Miley Cyrus saying, "Hey, with the last episode of Hannah Montana wrapped up, all right, now I'm going to get my asshole out and shake it in front of Robin Thicke."
Ooh. Miley Cyrus. Again, I would take her home for the weekend. I would spend the weekend with her, and if I was dead at the end, it'd be fine. But I could never take her home to me. I love when she sings that song. So, all right, here we are. Where are we at?
Today we discuss the pilot episode of the Charmkins from the year of our Lord 1983. Great year.
1983, pretty good year. I was probably 8 years old. I would say you were 2.
That's exactly right.
This is pre-Bears Super Bowl.
Pre-shuffle.
Pre-shuffle. Yeah, so I 83, Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh! You're gonna tell me some things that happened in '83. Okay.
No, I'm just trying to like put myself in the. Yeah, definitely. I tried to run away. Probably 1983.
Hang out by the garbage bin, right? Mm-hmm. Friends come by, bring you toys to play with.
Swimming lessons in the 7:30 in the morning outside.
Mm-hmm. Freezing cold, getting that water. Oh.
Did not learn to swim.
Nipples hard as you cut glass with your tits.
Yeah, I can feel this. 83 was a good year.
So let's go back to 1983
in
our minds. To do so, we'll talk about some things that happened in November of 1983, so we can be in the proper mind frame of when the Charmkins was made and ultimately aired. Because to do it any other way would be uncivilized.
Yeah, we can't judge this cartoon based off today's standards. Believe me, it's going to be difficult.
We would love to do that. We simply cannot.
Yeah. In 1983, we didn't have 4K television.
Love
high-speed
4K.
Internet.
Remember when we were masturbating to 1K?
Oh,
what a fucking joke that was.
I feel like a cheap slut now.
4K is where it's at. I want to see ingrown hairs on a lady's vagina lips.
Yep. We did not have any type of calendar.
Marie or Gregory. Gregorian.
And we didn't have Band-Aids. So, when I was in 83, when I was a little kid, if I fell down and scratched my knee on the sidewalk, oh, guess what? You better hope you don't bleed
Gangrenous.
out. You get a tourniquet.
Get leg rot.
Yep.
Hey, here's some stuff that did happen that year. Again, I'm going to focus on movies.
Okay, let's see if I actually know any of them.
These were released in November of 2000, or rather 1983. I'm sorry. For November 1st, My Breakfast with Blassie. This is a essentially kind of a film with Andy Kaufman and classy Freddie Blassie, the old professional wrestler.
Okay, I don't remember it, but I know those two people.
This is the time in Andy Kaufman's career where he was like, there's something about professional wrestling that attracts me to it.
Sure.
I know that it's not real in the sense that these guys aren't really landing on their heads. These are moves perfected by practice and time. And I want to be a part of this because this is entertainment, and I like interesting entertainment. You remember that when he had that whole feud with
Jerry the King Lawler?
Yeah,
Yep.
Kind of came to a head on Letterman.
Letterman, yep.
Anyway, I think Freddie Blassie, even in 82, was probably getting on in age, but it was someone that he looked towards as like someone who was a professional entertainer in this field. And they made a movie, My Breakfast with Blassie.
I don't think I remember that.
November 18th, a classic movie as far as I'm concerned, A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story. That is the one with the little kid with the Red Ryder BB gun.
That's it.
Wow.
Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that many times.
Okay.
TBS makes sure I see it.
We joke about how you've only seen a handful of films.
I've seen it all the way through.
But this is one that is played for 24 hours straight.
Right.
And cable kind of, I don't know where we are anymore with cable. I feel like it's all streaming services. And like a channel like TBS is kind of teetering on infinity right now, just falling off into nothing in space and void forever.
And I think they should just hold on, because I think, this is what I think. I think all these streaming, all these streaming apps, they all break off. They all say, oh, you pay me $12 a month. Well, there's 12 of them. And eventually, it's just going to become cable again.
It's the only model we know. We try to make it different, but it all ends up kind of being the same thing again.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'm fine with just having like 2 or 3 streaming services. That's more than enough to not use.
Speaking of that, I got super hella pissed off about 3 weeks ago when I got on Hulu to watch the season premiere of Saturday Night Live and see that Saturday Night Live is no longer on Hulu.
Yeah.
I have to buy Peacock.
Yeah.
I am livid.
Yeah, I think I'm done with Hulu. Partially because of that. I totally agree with you.
I am super livid.
Yeah, you have to have Peacock now.
I want to see your peacock, cock, your peacock, cock. My wife recently found out that the song by Tyler, what's Perry? What's her name?
Tyler Perry.
No, the girl.
Hello.
The chapstick.
Medea's Family Christmas.
No, the chapstick song. Mm-hmm. I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It.
Katy Perry.
That cherry chapstick is a euphemism for a girl's clitoris.
I think we mentioned that yesterday when we were recording Karaoke, and I think it's also a euphemism for a dog's red-hot wet cock.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
We did talk about that.
All right.
All good. Hey,
any more movies?
Oh, what were we talking?
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. That's a movie that I think takes place in the 50s.
Yeah.
But it came out in 83.
That's why I always think of it as older, because
I watched that movie, and I feel like that movie really is kind of timeless, because it was made in a time that it was set in the past, but I feel like it could be any time.
Yeah.
Like I really do feel like that movie could have been made 10 years ago, and it still works. It still holds up.
I like it. That's good. That is a Christmas movie I like.
It's a good flick.
That Bad Santa.
That's a good one too. I like that Lauren. What was her name? Lauren Graham, who's the love interest of Billy Bob Thornton. She was in the Gilmore Girls.
Right.
She's pretty sexy.
Isn't she in Mighty Ducks too? Like the new Mighty Ducks series too?
I have not seen it, but
Yeah.
yes, I think she's the one
It's
of
so
the moms.
crazy.
Well, ladies got to put foot on the
She's
table.
hot to trot.
November 28th, The Gambler, The Adventure Continues,
Kenny
Part
Rogers?
2 with Kenny Rogers is released in theaters.
I didn't even know there was I didn't know there was a 2.
Hell, there's probably a handful of them. They probably put 1 or 2 out and then start being.
Hey, let's get together at your house sometime and we'll just watch them. But however many there's out, we watch them.
If it means getting you to my house, I will watch them with you, and you can sit on my new couch.
I'll eat in the kitchen though. I'll have to eat in the kitchen.
Hey, leave the dogs at home.
Hey yo, I can't fit both of them at the car at the same time. Hey yo,
I feel like I'm back in 1983.
yeah, for sure. Mostly with that accent I just did.
Why did we choose to watch The Charmkins?
3 simple criteria, 3 pillars of our show. It's been since day one. It was a pilot television show that never went to series. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant. We had to be able to find it on the internet. Awesome! Thank you, Miz. I hope you get better. And it had to be free, baby.
What's this season?
This is Animation Domination, Season 37.
That's exactly right. You can find the entire episode of The Charmkins by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Blake?
You know what to do, Tube.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Acquisition Associates emailed us.
The Couch Pilots page?
Yeah, it says, this is Sam Howard. It says, hey, Couch Pilots team. We came across your pod and think there is a great fit. We are reaching out on behalf of marketing team Manscaped. Manscaped.com. We are interested in advertising on your podcast. Please send over the following: a link to your podcast and any socials, audience demographic, gender, and location, average number of downloads per episode,
I'll be disappointed with that.
audio only or YouTube as well. This will help us evaluate how to move forward. Let us know if you're interested, and I'll give you everything you need. Manscaped, the right tool for the job. So,
Are you interested?
I am interested in getting some free Manscaped products.
Mm-hmm. What's going on down there? How are you?
Bushy. Bushy ushy.
Are you all grown out?
Oh, I've been grown out for a couple years now.
I pour hot wax every Monday morning at 8 a.m. I put a big old bucket of hot wax on my nuts and just rip it right off.
I'd like to be slim and trim,
Shorn,
and to keep it up. But again, what's the point? Nobody sees it except me.
Yeah, is that enough or not?
No. I'm even disappointed in myself.
So last episode you mentioned you had a bunch of gray pubes.
That's a comedy bit.
So you have jet black nutsack hair.
I have jet black hair on the top of my head, gray
on the top of your head,
gray on
top
my
of your penis head.
No, I mean on the top of
Your
my head.
cock's got a mocock.
Oh, my goatee is all gray, but then we go back to straight black bush.
Oh my god! Hey, what do you think about the beard I got going on right now?
I like it.
I trimmed it up recently.
Yeah, I like a trim beard.
I was letting it grow out. It's longer than it usually is, but I let it
Yeah.
grow out a lot. I trimmed it up. I think it's.
Yeah,
I don't like it's pretty good.
I don't like a thick, hairy one. I like one that looks sculpted.
Look good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you a 6 out of 7.
Summary of the pilot: Brown-eyed Susan and the other Charmkin children of Charmland go on a quest to rescue Lady Slipper after she is kidnapped by evil Dragonweed and whisked off to Thistle Down to dance for him and his goons.
I'm giving this an A+.
Ooh.
You could actually not even have to watch this cartoon because this summary is so perfect.
It's pretty concise.
Concise, gives the name of the characters. I love it. A+.
Interesting facts. Oh, hold on. I forgot. This is not the Bob Key Bunch anymore.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason has scoured the internet to find out facts that you may not know about this show. Please, just listen to these facts. Don't give your opinions on them. And don't taint someone else's experience. Thank you, my children.
It's like putting on an old pair of shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Getting that old Interesting Facts music back.
For sure. I missed it.
Oh, and by old pair of shoes, I mean getting another round of that foot fungus.
Ooh.
Got an itch between the toes. You get out one of those dish scrubbers and just put that between your toes. That really does a good job scratching you.
Yeah. You gotta buy new shoes. Mm-hmm. If you get it, you gotta buy new socks and buy new shoes.
New shoes. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Interesting facts. The Charmkins is a television special based on an early 1980s toy line by Hasbro, and this was broadcast on October 25th, 1983. So honestly, almost exactly 19 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is kind of nuts, isn't it? Fact.
These nuts.
The toy line featured small figures with no points of articulation that have built-in rings on tops of each other's characters' heads. These rings enabled the characters to be added to a necklace or a bracelet, not unlike a charm. Playsets for the Charmkins were also available. Fact.
I wonder if my wife had ever had any Charmkins.
She's about the right age where she probably had some Charmkins. These are probably fun little toys.
Sure.
They almost look like toys where you put in a quarter in a machine, and then you start to crank the thing, and then it comes out in a little plastic ball.
And then you can't get the ball open, then you cut your finger trying to get the ball open.
And you have to go to the hospital, and the doctor says there's nothing we can do.
Because we don't have Band-Aids.
And then they have to, because we live in a time before Band-Aids. And they ultimately have to put your child down for trying to score a fun little toy.
Honey, did you ever have a Charmkins? No, okay. Well,
did she say it doesn't sound familiar?
Right. So thanks for the content.
She's older than I thought.
Yeah,
Family Home Entertainment released this special on VHS. Fact.
Okay.
Doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes it happens. I think the most recent examples we had the G.I. Joe.
The
Sergeant Savage and the Screaming
Eagles.
I think if you bought a certain action figure, it came with the VHS of the program. Fact. Stars Ben Vereen as Dragonweed. You may recognize him from PBS's Zoobly Zoo.
Zoobly Zoo, Zoobly Zoo, the magic and wonder are waiting for you.
I have talked about Zoobly Zoo ad nauseum on another podcast I do, the Ernest podcast, and we have come to the agreement that not necessarily bestiality, I think that's as old as time, but like furries, and the dawn of the furry is origins.
I can see that
from Zoobly Zoo.
I would not discredit that at all.
For people who don't know Zoobly Zoo, it was a
Google
show.
it. Yeah.
First of all, Google image that shit. Second of all, masturbate. Third of all, you'll see that these are grown adults dressed up like animals, but they're usually like wearing tight-fitting clothes, and they got makeup on their face.
Yeah, and the lady that had the bird, she had like the
cockatoo.
Beak. Yeah.
They look vaguely like the animals are supposed to be, but they're human size, so they're all like the lion's the same size as the bird. But but what you'd want to do is masturbate to them.
Hey, as long as we're talking about furries, I just came from the Halloween store, and you would never believe the amount of furry costumes there are. If you want to be a cow, you can be a cow. If you want to be a horse, a unicorn, pig, any kind of furry you want to be. They actually call them furries.
How much do those cost nowadays?
I didn't get that close, but yeah.
Okay, so you're not into furries. Okay.
Hold on. I go to sometimes I go to Reddit. Have a seat real quick.
You can take that chair with you when we're done.
Yeah. Oh, have a seat real quick. Sometimes I go to Reddit.com. It's a free website now. And then I go to People of Walmart, the subreddit. And sometimes people will take pictures of other people in Walmart. And some of those pictures will be a person walking around, like maybe buying their weekly groceries, but they got a big old tail coming out of the back of their pants, which I strongly suspect the other end of that is going into their asshole.
Yeah, butt plug.
Do they have anything like that at Spirit Halloween?
No, but they had like the little things you put on your hands and the big the what do you call it? Feet, and they called them furries. The name of the costume was furries.
I think that's kind of smart, though, right? If you're Spirit Halloween, like getting into the furry business.
Yeah, because that's like the only time of the year you can find that stuff. Like if you're into furries, like you're like, hey, October's coming, I gotta get a new one. I was a unicorn all year, now I'm gonna be a panda bear.
That's right.
There was a panda bear.
And what if I wanted to buy? If I wanted to buy one of those ass plug tails, where could I go for something like that, Molly? Thank you for joining us.
I'm not really sure. There used to be a place called the Green Door on Farmington Road. Yeah, in Peoria.
You had that pretty quick, holstered Blake.
Yeah, they I'm pretty sure they probably had some. I'm not sure that place downtown Peoria is still around. Lovers Playground or whatever.
What was it called before that?
Swingers World.
Yeah, Swingers World. Yeah, but it is Lovers Playground. Yeah, I don't know if it's open either. I don't know.
I don't know if it made it through the pandemic. I recently have found out that they have like these things now, like. A girl, nope, you're sticking right here just for a minute.
I do have another question for
you. They stick it, it's like a butt plug. Mm-hmm. And then there's a remote. And these girls put this in, and they go out in public with their husbands, and their husbands have this remote. Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't. Well, I think that actually originated with the. They have the ones for the front, for the clit, that has the remote.
Don't you mean the cherry chapstick?
For the vaginal stimulation, right? We're going back and forth. So yeah, that actually has more. I think you'd find it more often.
Would you ever trust me with a remote controlled vibrator?
That's a big hell fuck no.
Would you trust me with a remote for Blake?
Definitely, yes.
I feel like it's like the remote was a thing for a while, but why can't it just be an app right now? I'm in the office building across town. I don't have to be Bluetooth 10 feet from you. I'm over data entering, and my wife's at home making me a nice ooey gooey butter cake. Why can't I have her ejaculate?
Make her get an ooey gooey butter cake.
I'm thinking maybe you should get, what are those things called? Oh,
dildo.
No, you could probably market that, patent an app.
It's really easy to come up with an idea. It's the execution that's near impossible.
You're a smart guy. You'll figure it out.
Take off your hat, smart guy.
No.
I want to see your hair. You dyed it a color, right?
No.
You didn't dye it?
I just didn't wash it today, so I have a hat on.
It looks cool. I was wanting to see the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, no. Thanks, so.
You're welcome. Hey, you went to a birthday party the other night?
Yeah, my friend had a birthday.
How was that? Tell us about that.
It was a good time. I had a really good time. I felt really old at a lot of times of the whole thing, but yeah, I had a good time.
we all know that you are very old, but you don't look old.
Standing next to a bunch of 26-year-olds, I look old.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But sitting here by yourself with no one else to compare to, you don't look very old.
Thank you.
You went
Thank you very much.
to a strip club, right?
If you want to call it that, I didn't.
What
really
would you call it?
I don't know. I was very disappointed. First off, I don't understand why women have to pay to get into strip clubs these days. It used to always be a free thing where...
Do you have to pay the same amount as a
Yep.
man?
So it was $10 to get in.
It should be at minimum half price for
Yeah.
a lady.
Yeah.
You want more... cover your ears for a second. You want more pussies in this.
Yeah. How about who gave you the $10 to pay to get in?
I paid to get in.
Nice. So you went to Club Cabaret.
Yes.
Will you tell us about your experience there, pretty please?
It was a brief experience. We were only there for one drink and long enough for the birthday girl to get her little dance on. So
What did she dance? Did she herself get on stage and strip down?
No, but she gave the ladies money and stuff like that.
And
so.
a lady mounted her.
No, I didn't even really see that too much. It was not the strip clubs of the other
Olden days?
The olden days.
Ye old strip club.
the ye old strip club. I really was.
When you put a 5 pence on the counter and the pirate gave you
2 bits.
2 bits.
2 bits on the counter. It's real. Hey, I asked Blake. I said, "What did Molly do?" She said, "I went to a strip club." He said, "It's all black ladies now." And I said, "What time do they close?" And then I grabbed my keys.
late. They closed late.
Was it all black ladies?
Yes, it was.
But good-looking black ladies. Yeah.
They were pretty.
I'm going after this.
Well, have a good time.
Got to wrap this up. As soon as I see your hair, I'm going to get out of here and wrap this up.
It's just regular hair. It's nothing different.
But you have dyed it, right? It's like lighter.
You have seen me since I've dyed my hair.
Saw it yesterday.
I feel like she was in the dark on the couch crying about she's made a huge mistake with her dogs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say husband.
No. Best choice she ever made.
That was Thursday night. So, yeah.
I like to see the hair. How's it look, Blake?
Oh, it looks wonderful. She right now. I like the length of her hair right now, and she's got like this bob thing going on in the back.
That's why I want to see it. I think
that's cute.
It looks cute.
Yeah.
Are you sure I can't see it?
It just doesn't. Yes, it's fine. Okay.
Quick, take a picture.
I'm not taking a picture. Looks great.
Yeah, it's just hair.
This is the longest I've seen your hair in a long time. I think it looks good. Are you liking it?
Yeah, except I think I need to get more
Body.
more highlights. Well, right now, body, yes, it's a little flat, but more highlights right now.
I hope you don't mind me saying, kind of a hot piece of ass, Blake.
Hey, no, I don't mind. It's actually a compliment to me because I let her be my wife. So.
Yeah. Anything else for Molly?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, probably about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
It was 7 to 7:30.
Well, we sat here and talked to you.
Oh, drove by. It's ass packed.
Yeah, because trivia. Remember?
You're going back to the Moose later to watch football.
Love you.
What is that? Did you just get Sam Adams Oktoberfest?
No, I bought yours. It was not cold yet, so I bought a 6-pack of those because I knew that they were coming and it was cold.
Okay.
You can have one if you'd like.
Thank you, Jason.
No, Blake got him. Blake got him. I'm just handing him to you.
I spent like $150 at the liquor store today, and
I was talking to Blake,
No, I didn't.
and Blake says, "I've got a new plan." And I said, "Oh, this can't be good." I said, "What's your plan?" He says, "I'm going to go to the Moose, but here, listen to this. I'm going for 2 hours, and then after that, I'll go home for 2 hours.
it worked great.
And then after that, I'm going back to the Moose for 2 more hours." Part of the appeal of that bottle opener is its weight. That's correct.
That's right.
What do you think about that plan of taking an entire day and cutting it in half between time spent at the Moose and time spent away from the Moose?
I was productive when I wasn't there.
Whatever works, I guess, for him.
All right. As long as we're taking a step in the positive direction, which I don't know that we are.
We're really not.
I feel like the Moose is the addiction.
Yeah.
Silence is compliance.
You know what? I know why she walked away.
Thank you,
that was
Molly.
a smart choice. Love you, sweetheart.
Anyway, ever since I saw Zoobly Zoo, I wanted a fucking animal.
Yeah.
You may also recognize Ben Vereen from How I Met Your Mother, Webster, and also Be Positive, starring one canceled Thomas Middleditch. You know Thomas Middleditch?
Yeah. Is he uncanceled now?
I think he's pretty canceled.
Yeah. He's
But
not,
he
he
might-
never come back?
I don't give a fuck. There's plenty of guys out there. I don't give a fuck about him.
Benny Schwartz is funnier than anyone.
There's a few key guys that if they got canceled, I'd be crestfallen. Thomas Middleditch is not one.
Okay, all right.
Also stars Eileen Quinn as Brown-Eyed Susan. Do you know about this?
No.
You may recognize her from Will and Grace, The Frog Prince, and the titular role in Annie.
Okay.
This is Annie from the early 80s with Albert Finney and Carol Burnett.
Okay.
Remember that film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sally Struthers on this as well?
She is Poison Ivy. You may know her from the Gilmore Girls, Dinosaurs, and All in the Family.
There you go.
End of these interesting facts.
Would you know her from Three's Company as well?
That's a different person. That is a
Honey, you can take that chair if you want.
person.
You can take the chair if you need it. I bought her a light today, and I installed the light. It's a 7,000 BTU LED light, and she's sitting on the couch working on crafts where there's no light.
If I were you, like, Molly's got the cutest voice ever.
She does.
You do recognize
No,
that,
it is
right?
adorable. And it's also how you measure her drunkenness.
Does it go higher?
Oh, yeah. And you know when she's had too many.
I know in Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Last week we didn't have any Twitter responses. I was really hoping we would last week. Stephen Banks seems like an attainable interview.
Yeah, for sure.
An attainable person to have a conversation, a back and forth with. I thought that would have been really cool. In all honesty, this week I thought it would have been the coolest thing ever if I could get a hold of Eileen Quinn, who played Brown-Eyed Susan. The film, the musical Annie, was a mainstay in my house for many years as a child. I've seen that movie tons of times, and to be able to talk to Eileen Quinn, it truly may have been, it would be the greatest thing. It would be a piece of my childhood that would have been unbelievable and unreplaceable.
Right?
What's going on out here?
I'm not really sure why there's noise out there.
He is practicing his speech.
Oh.
Can we close the door?
No, it's upstairs.
What's his speech
Closing
about?
the door, Adolf Hitler. Closing the door is not going to help this situation.
Your boy idolizes the Third Reich for some reason.
Right. Yeah, he was very
Third
excited.
Reich.
He joined the speech team, and then he was like, hey, I'm going to do a humorous speech.
Like, you know who's a compelling orator?
Adolf Hitler. And I said, do it.
Something about his eyes.
Get canceled now.
They're
Get it over with.
Hypnotic. All right, we don't have any Twitter responses.
Right.
Let's put 10 minutes on the clock. Let's talk about Charmkins 23-minute pilot.
Yeah, for sure. Charmkins, obviously, it's a cartoon, as we said. An intro song comes on, and they basically are describing and telling you all about Charm World.
It's a nice, gentle, sing-songy opening.
Yeah, and I would say, I've said it last week, it's kind of like Strawberry Shortcake in the animation.
I would say so.
Yeah, it's a close. It's like a pre-core version of Strawberry Shortcake.
That's really putting a dent in
All
it.
right, so
the song, I think, it's telling us about, I think it mentions Festival Day or something.
Oh, yeah, Festival Day.
And that it's basically, while we're doing that, we're seeing credits of the notable voice actors.
There's a lot of notable people in this.
Well, which included, like I said, Eileen Quinn,
Yeah.
Ben Vereen, and Sally Struthers.
And wait.
We pretty quickly see Dragonweed, which is voiced by Ben Vereen, like I said, and he kind of looks like
Right.
I say he looks like a furry, like
an orange ape.
monkey troll man is what I put.
Monkey Troll Man. Oh, hashtag that, Monkey Troll Man. He's a part of the bad guys, and they're spying on the Charmkins, and they're mad because they didn't get invited to the festival.
They're looking through a telescope from like far away, and they're complaining. They said any of their get-togethers, hey,
They never invite us.
No one drops us a line.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel about you sometimes, Blake. You never drop me a line. I invite you to everything. You don't show up, and then I don't get any invites. Just saying. I feel like the tables have been turned here a little bit.
So you're saying that I am like the orange buffoon here?
I think you are the furry monkey troll man.
That's what Molly called me last night.
That's hot shit right
Right before
there.
she spanked me.
Can't do it.
The Charmkins are a tiny people, And they may even be like, I don't know if they're human. I think they're almost like part plant or something.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I think that's the basis of both of these good guys and bad guys. They're represented by a floral thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of plant and flower aesthetics in the Charmkins' appearance. Dragonweed and his buddies are all weed laden.
Yeah,
they're all
dark and gloomy, and they're a nuisance, right?
One of the guys over there is named Skunkweed. He looks like the cross between some sort of like a skunk.
Wolfman Jack and Elvis.
He looks like Wolfman Jack and Elvis.
Pepe Le Pew.
They live in Pepe Le Pew. I would agree with that. They live in Thistledown.
Yeah, Thistletown.
I've
been all around Thistletown.
Hell yeah,
remember
that's from Miley Cyrus. That's a good one.
Thistletown. Yeah.
The brown-eyed
my
Susan.
wife is throwing that beer back in the other room.
She's a drunk. The brown-eyed Susan talks to Willie Wink. It's one of the other Charmkins about how great Charmville is, and she breaks. Or Charmland, I think it was, and she breaks into song. And this is where we this is kind of a musical.
Yeah, it's I think the song was probably called "Pretty Lucky."
Yeah, they're saying, hey, you know, we live in this great town, and we are lucky to be here. And over the course of the song, she kind of wins Willie to her side of the argument. He's like, you know what, it is kind of great.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and then when the next scene is, then it's time for the bad guys to kind of do their song, and it's a song about the swamp and where they live and everything.
Well, right before that, when we're looking through the telescope, Dragonweed, who's the leader of these guys, he's impressed with one of the Charmkins' choreography.
Lady Slipper. And he wants her to come dance for him.
Yeah.
This is creepy. How I if you're a little kid, you don't know any better, it's not creepy.
That's exactly right.
But as an adult, this is creepy how this guy's like, I want you to dance for me.
But you hit a nail on the head there. Like, you're talking about demographics. Who's this for? How do those people perceive and understand this? The child audience that would watch this wouldn't think twice about it being creepy. They just like colors and singing and dancing.
Right.
So Thistledown is a muddy, boggy swamp full of grays and browns. Not much to look at. Dragonweed says how Lady Slipper floats like a butterfly, and then no one there knows exactly what a butterfly is, and they don't really come around Thistletown because it's so downtrodden and disgusting. The irony is, though, that there's a butterfly flying behind them, and that the butterfly stops on Skunkweed's back and is overpowered by his stench. It's kind of a funny little gag they do. Dragonweed, like you said, then Blake it busts out into his own song about loving Thistlewood just how it is. You'd think maybe if they didn't get invited to their events, maybe they would strive to be like them or make effort to be more like Charmland so they could be colorful and bright and appealing. But he said, no, I like Thistlewood just how it is. I like the tar pits. I like the garbage. I like the dank air. Him and his acolytes, all the little goons and thugs he's got hanging around, they all chip in on the tune. And then he declares that he wants Lady Slipper to dance just for him. And at this point, not unlike the summary, I think that he intends on kidnapping her.
Yes, for sure.
Lady Slipper is sleeping on a leaf on a small pond or a lake, and the weed boys, as I will dub them, they undo her tether via a trebuchet that they fire, and she drifts towards the other side of the lake, which happens to be Thistledown.
Yeah, she is in trouble here. I'm trying to catch up with where you're at.
That's fine. The Charmkins go after her. Lady Slipper awakens. A whirlpool separates the parties, and Lady Slipper heads down towards a dangerous waterfall.
Yeah, and that's where it caught me off guard. When you first see it, it's like, oh, it's just a river. It's all calm.
Just a nice little lake.
And then there's a whirlpool, and then the next thing you know, there's the rapids, and
it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, it got dangerous quick. How do you have a whirlpool in the middle of it? But anyway, so right before Lady Slipper falls down the waterfall, she's saved.
And Willie is on this rock on the edge of the waterfall. He throws a rope, and she's caught by a rope. And you're like, hey, Willie.
Way to go, Willie.
Great job. Not the case at all. The rope is actually being thrown by a Dragonweed. One of his goons snags her up. The Charmkins break into another song about nothing being impossible because they think they're in a situation now where they're close to Thistlewood on the other side of the pond. Their friend's been captured. We're in an impossible situation. But their songs tell them that nothing is impossible.
There's no such thing as impossible.
Who do we have on this team? Can we say
What team?
on the Charmkin team? Who's over there on the side of good that is going to try to help Lady Slipper? Do you know everybody?
I don't know everybody's name. I Slick Willie and Lady Slipper and Dragonweed and Poison Ivy. That's all I got.
That's an amalgamation of a lot of things. The party trying to rescue Lady Slipper is Brown-Eyed Susan.
Ooh, Brown-Eyed Susan.
Winky Willie or whatever his name is. There's an infant. They're carrying around an infant for some reason. They also have a dog, a cat,
And a bird.
and a talking bird. They're all out to rescue Lady Slipper. Well, Dragonweed takes Lady Slipper back to his lair and asks her to dance for him. She declines because he's mean and wants to rule everything, even Charm World.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's really weird about him saying, dance for me. But so then we see Willie, and they're going through the forest trying to figure out a way to get to her, right? And for somehow Willie wakes up this dragon accidentally, which the dragon, it's a dragon, and then the tulip girl tickles the dragon.
That's the infant they're carrying around. This tiny little Charmkin that they left behind to potentially be trampled by this dragon.
And it ends up being Poison Ivy, and she's like a shapeshifter.
This dragon is the size of a skyscraper compared to this baby. Right. She tickles it, and it explodes into smoke. And there's a tiny little. It's big. It's a big dragon. All right. Describe Poison Ivy.
She a plump little whitey, kind of looks like a Cupid, kind of has red hair, and she can just turn you or herself into whatever she wants. Of course, she has like a little floral trim on her dress.
She looks similar to a Charmkin.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
And she's magic. She says, I know everything that's going on in the woods. And I don't think she's a force for good or evil. She just kind of does what she wants.
Yeah, she's like Sweden.
Meanwhile, Dragonweed's got Lady Slipper caged up, and they said, you know what? Stay in this cage. And I have this what's that called? Like an hourglass he flips over. It's full of thistles instead of sand.
And he's like, by the end of this, you have like an hour, and if you don't dance for me, then you know what's coming.
Poison Ivy busts into a song and starts turning all of our heroes into different animals and creatures.
Yeah, the song's about like making decisions and being able to be something else or something.
They keep saying like the song's like about bodies and like not always being
disguises. I'm sorry,
what they seem to be.
The song's about disguises,
but essentially it is about disguises.
I wrote so bad I thought it was decisions.
And they part ways. The Charmkins going to save Lady Slipper and Poison Ivy, and they thank Poison Ivy, but I don't know that she really helps them. Maybe she, pardon the pun, but plants a seed in them that they should use a disguise. But
yeah, I think that's what
I don't think she really helps them. Other than
because I don't think she should be helping them. Again, she's neutral like Sweden. I think she's just putting an idea into her head. She's kind of like a life coach.
I guess so. Lady Slipper continues to turn down Dragonweed. The Charmkins sneak in as green shrubbery, and Dragonweed cranks out yet another song about him being cruel and evil.
Yeah, it's his song about it's like or else or me at my worst. He's really laying on thick. Like I am getting a little shit and tired about this.
I think the folks in Thistle Down have the opportunity to invite good and positive things in their life, but Dragonweed is kind of like, no, I like it this way. I like being evil. I like bad things.
Yeah, I like going to therapy and not doing anything that the therapist suggests.
It's a weakness, if you ask me. Hey, a couple of the dope goons from Thistledown bump into one of the Charmkins as a bush, and their cover is blown, and they quickly gather them all up and tie them to a tree.
Right. Including that as Willie. He gets captured. And there's only two thistles. God damn it. 2 thistles left. So I mean she has 2 minutes left before he's going to do or else.
Minutes? I don't know. They keep making more threats to Lady Slipper, and then the bird that is with the Charmkins and tied up, it bites through the rope, and then they load the trebuchet with like mud pies or something.
Yeah, it's the mud pie slinging machine.
What happens next, it really is an all-out mud fight.
And then all the bad guys end up getting captured, and they get tied up.
Yeah, the dog saves Lady Slipper, and the bird ties up the goons, and they put them all in a cage. And then Dragonweed starts to kind of like make his case. I was like, I'm not such a bad guy. And while he's doing this, he's like filing away at the cage to try to open it. Meanwhile, Susan sings a song about inviting Sun into Thistledown to make it a nicer place. And we temporarily see what it would look like if they did invite that and did want that in their world. But Dragonwing
escapes.
He gets another look at Lady Slipper dancing before him, and his posse break free.
Oh, he loves Lady Slipper dancing.
He loves dancing. The Charmkins run towards the river, and they walk over a rope to the other side where their town is, and the baddies are right behind them. But once the Charmkins cross, the bird clips the rope with his beak, and once again, the Charmkins are free of these guys as the bad guys go right into the drink.
But they don't get into a whirlpool or rapids. They just fall into a lake.
Yeah, they'll be
river.
Fine. They'll be fine. Charmkins arrive home. They tell their parents what happened. They give us one final quick song, and then we get yet another song over the credits. What do you think about that?
That's a lot of songs.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Charmkins, one and done. Why don't you think the Charmkins worked?
I got some information from you. Is that it was already a toy line. I was thinking that this was probably a cartoon that they wanted to turn into a toy line, but it's the complete opposite.
Chicken or the egg, my friend.
Right. I think at that time you got the Smurfs, you got Cabbage Patch Kids, you got Strawberry Shortcake, you've got a lot of animated shows, which are at that time were very expensive to make.
I think probably so.
You didn't have all the computer stuff to make it quicker now. Like, you know what I mean? I just think that there was, probably the toy line wasn't doing great.
That could be it. Like when I think about the 80s and all the coolest cartoons for a kid to watch, it's He-Man, incredible toy line. It's Transformers,
G.I. Joes,
stellar toy line. G.I. Joes, exactly. My Little Pony, powerful toy line. All of these things are made just to sell kids a bunch of shit.
Right.
And as long as everyone's happy, who cares? Let them have fun with it. Charmkins, I do remember Charmkins from when I was little. I think my sister probably had some. And why not have it be a successful show? Sure. What happened here? I think the songs are tough to do every episode. That would be a tough thing to do, even if they're quick little ones. I don't know. I think it might be just a poor premise overall. I feel like when you have the toy line of Charmkins, you don't have evil. No one's going to the store and buying a Thistlewood. Like no little girl's like, I want a Dragonweed charm.
I also think that you're also, I understand the concept of naming everybody after some kind of flower or whatever, but for little kids, it's hard to remember and say all these, right? You know what I mean?
Brown-Eyed Susan, Willy Wink.
But you know what I mean? Like, the Dragonweed and all this stuff. They don't know what a Dragonweed is.
The evil part of it, to me, that might be the problem, First of all, the logic is bad. Wouldn't it be nice if the Charmkins did just invite those guys over? Maybe it would be nice if they all got along. But if you're marketing this to little girls don't want
conflict.
Well, they do, that kind of. They don't want the ugly bad guys.
Right.
That's boys want that.
Right.
Boys want the fighting. Boys want the action, and that's where you get the good guys and you get the bad guys. Charmkins, we don't need bad guys. We can have minor fun conflicts because you have to have conflict in a story. But you just don't need the ugly guys. Girls don't want ugly bad guys.
But Gargamel was ugly with the Smurfs, and he was their arch nemesis.
I feel like that's boys and girls like the Smurfs, though.
Okay.
Don't you?
It's unisex?
Well, think about the Smurfs. Everyone wanted to fuck that one girl Smurf because there's only one girl Smurf. It's young enough to where it's mainly a guy's gang, right?
I got you.
This is a girls' show.
Yeah.
That's your demographic.
Sure. Yeah, for
girls 4 or 5, probably girls 5 to 9.
Yeah.
That's your demographic for this. And girls don't want ugly bad guys. You know what your conflict is? Oh, my dog Rhubarb
ran away and I can't find him.
Yeah, and then we go find them. And that's it. And then maybe we sing a song or two.
All right, so maybe a little too much bad guy for it. I got you. All right.
Yeah, maybe that's my take.
I like it. No, I like it.
If it survived, I think just week after week, he's like, hey, I need you to go gather up all the vegetables for tonight's festival.
Oh, but I dropped them when I was on my way home. We don't have enough.
Boom, there it is.
Yeah.
That's the story. I just wrote a story for the Charmkins, and it didn't include a guy forcing a tiny child to dance for him.
and caging her up.
Ladies and
I was waiting for her to go,
gentlemen,
put the
as
lotion
we
on the
start,
skin.
Please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full.
It's a very good point. You made a very good
You
point.
put the Miracle Grow on the skin, or else it doesn't get the hose again. Pretty funny. Hey, IMDb, Internet Movie Database, has a score, scale 1 to 10, decimal points in play. Blake, what do you think people from around the world rated the Charmkins?
2.7.
This is a 7.1.
Really?
This is from 41 ratings. People have seen this. This is out there. Viewer reviews, 10 out of 10. I can't take this person seriously for 10 out of 10. An undiscovered classic. This is from Horned King. This is from March 11th, 2008. Horned King, I think, tells the story right there about this person. Charmkins delighted my sister when she was a child. I enjoyed it very much, too. She is 24 at this time and was given a VHS copy on her latest birthday. She was thrilled and has sought a copy of Charmkins ever since we lost the old tape we wore out in the 80s and early 90s. The good-natured inhabitants of Charm World could have been stepped right out of a Strawberry Shortcake cartoon, and the bad guys might be best described as mutant Smurfs with a caveman for a leader. Ben Vereen voices the main villain, and Sally Struthers and Aileen Queen lend their voice talents to a great cast of actors. The music is notable as it alternates between sweet and menacing with a whimsical flair Vereen is to be praised for. I doubt any merchandising sprung from this 1980s lost gem. Toys would have sold well had Charmkins been released on a wide scale, which I think it was. Yeah. But he likens them to Care Bears, Rainbow Bright, etc. because the characters were unique and fun to look at, which I do agree. I highly recommend digging up a copy of this film and showing a new generation of children how cool 1980s animation was.
Okay.
I will read one more. This is a 5 out of 10 scars. Glad to finally have tracked down what this was, although not really anything out of the ordinary. This is from Zircona from February 28th, 2016. I'm just going to read the last paragraph because they wrote a novel here. I didn't remember this cartoon very well as a child, but I can remember sympathizing more with the discriminated against villains, which I get. I do get that. I mentioned that. They should have just invited him over. The discriminated against villains and the protagonist, there's a lot of wasted potential in terms of the character design and not the best message for children. The baddies are wrong for imprisoning someone, but the goodies are not much better in the disdainful way they treat the baddies.
It must have been a therapist who wrote that.
A strong one at that. Very strong-willed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Whew, here we are at the end of another episode. I feel good. I feel limber. Like I could touch the sky and then bend over and touch my toes.
Ooh, I like it.
Let's grade the Charmkins, a scale 1 to 7, based off of the scale from the 1990s television sitcom, affectionately and accurately known as Wings. We look at all the characters and play from that show. We assign them a number. Number 1, that's the worst score you're going to get. That's a character who goes by the name of Roy Biggins. Number 7, that's the best character on the program. His name is Brian Hackett. Captain Philip, rest assured, as always, I do turn towards you. How do you rate the Charmkins?
I hate to start off a brand new season after 37 years of doing this show. I hate to start off with a low score, but we've already talked about why it's not good. I like the way you articulated in regards to having, a bad guy for a girl show. I'm giving it a 2.
Give it a 2. Yeah, I am liking to go kind of right there with you. Every animated show we see now, someone sitting in front of a computer trying to make it look like as real as possible. You know what I mean? Like. Right. There is a charm, pun intended, of these old cartoons. I like seeing hand-drawn animated cartoons. Is it a Chinese guy in a warehouse somewhere that's 150 degrees? Maybe. Is it a guy in Burbank, whose dad was an animator? He's making a lot of money. I don't know where these are coming from. But I like the old school animation. It's not great animation.
But it's old school.
But it makes you reminiscent of the past. You know me, I'm a vintage kind of guy.
Also, when it comes to cookware,
I don't like the Charmkins very much. I think aesthetically they look good. They're what you would want to see or what you'd want to present to a kid if I wanted to sell them toys. The aesthetics are good. The execution of this, like I said, we don't need bad guys here.
Right.
We need a well fleshed out village of the Charmkin and Charmland, and we need just little, time to go to the store, or hey, it's school, time for school. Oh, I don't feel well. That's a whole episode. What I just said, that sentence and a half, that's a whole episode. That's all we need. I don't need some.
You've written like a half a season already.
I really have. We don't need a big, ugly bad guy, because for that guy, there needs to be an action figure for that guy. And guess what? No one's going to buy it. Yeah. And in 40 years from now, that's going to be the most expensive one because no one bought it and they made so few of them. You can sell them for $1,000. But that doesn't work right now for what they're trying to do in that moment. Only good guys, only minor fun, or minor conflict. I don't think it was done very well. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
And I'll give it a 3 because I like the old school animation, and I do think kids would enjoy this, just not this version of this. Your score of a 2.
Respectful.
Thank you. And my score of a 3. We shall close the book on the Charmkins, and we will never speak of it again.
Yeah.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of A Kitty Bobo Show. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Kitty Bobo wants to prove that he is cool by getting a cell phone. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be receiving many important calls, so he begins to fake the incoming calls. It's only a matter of time before everyone catches on to the farce. You can find the entire episode of The Kitty Bobo Show by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, Blake.
You know what to do, too.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, as it were, but we are geared up to have a grade A guest next episode.
Oh, wow.
You know who it's going to be.
Spoiler.
Right?
No.
You don't?
No.
I feel like we spent a lot of the day kind of ironing it out.
I was trying to make it more tense.
Do you want to say who it is, or is it a secret?
Yeah, it's a secret. I think it's a secret. It's a hard get. It's a hard get.
It is a hard get to have.
There's many miles.
So we have hopefully we're going to have this person as it happens now. We are going to have this person, and I'm excited to do it. How do you contact the Couch Pilots program?
Go to couchpilotspodcast.com. It's a one-stop shop. Everything you need. Every episode we've ever had. You can go to that website, listen to any episode. You can email us. You can go to our Facebook from there. You can go to our Instagram from there. We have a great search engine. You just put a word in, and if there's a pilot that has anything to do with it, it's in there. It is a one-stop shop. We are also on Spotify. Every single episode that we've ever done is on Spotify. Fuck iTunes, who doesn't want to keep all 360 some of our episodes
fuck those
available.
Guys.
So fuck them.
I don't like that.
Give us a review. Write us a review on Spotify. Write us a review on iTunes. Let us know what you think. Drop us an email and tell us what you think of the show.
We would like to hear it. That'd be nice if people contact us. People have in the past, and I hope they continue to do it in the future. Last season, at the end of every episode, you said, I'm going to give you a grading of my emotional state based on our 1 to 7 grading scale. This is a new season. Are we doing something different this season? Is there something you want to... I'm looking at you, and I can see you haven't thought about it at all.
No, not at all. I think that we are in a new season. We need to wipe the whiteboard off, start afresh, and I think on every episode I should just take a moment and defend myself.
Okay.
Okay.
How does that look? What does that mean?
I don't know. Do
you want me to attack you in some fashion?
Yeah. Hoya! No. No, that just came. I was just throwing stuff out and see if it sticks, and that did not stick. I would just say thank you, everybody. If you like the show, if you listen to the show, just drop us a line and let us know. We like to hear. We like to get some more fan feedback. We like to get some interaction with fans. So take this time to just send us an email or something. Write us a review.
I've heard recently, it's like someone said there's 2 million podcasts out there. If someone said it to me, I believe it. I believe there's that many.
For sure.
Now, how many are actually active? Far less than that. There's probably 2 million out there. People, they said they've done 5 or 6 episodes and then they're done. Yeah. I feel like there are very few that have done the number that we have.
Consistently.
And even fewer that do the type of content that we do, where we talk about shows that had only one episode. You and I, more than maybe anyone else on the planet, and I know we've mentioned this before, but we are the authorities on failed pilots.
Sure.
I believe we truly, truly are.
Yeah. If there was a badge or an award or something, we would be
Or if
every year, right?
If it meant anything at all, that we would have. So, yeah, but it is true. A lot of content is made for TV shows, and a lot of it doesn't go the distance. And we were out there sweeping up all the failed detritus, gathering it up and watching it and making a podcast about it. There are other ones like us out there, similar, but they don't do what we do, and they haven't done it for the length that we've done it. We are a number one.
We're pretty badass.
We are the masters of this.
I would also say, if you're a new listener, hey, go back and check out some old episodes. I mean, we've the show, although it's been going on for 37 years, it's morphed. We've had all kinds of different guests. Start from the beginning. Chris Tuckley found us halfway through our journey.
Count how many times Blake says the N-word over the years. That's way more than you think.
I like Nabisco. I can't help it. It's my
Great company.
It's my favorite company.
They use real cheddar cheese in those Cheez-Its. You know that?
That's what makes the difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just check us out. Let somebody know about us. Send us a review. Send us an email. Just say hi. All right?
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. Hey, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone.
Good day, mate.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.